Hey guys, welcome back to another Hypixel Skyblock YouTube video. Well, actually, it's another movie review. Finally, time I got back to one of those. And today I'll be talking about Scream 6 as I capitalized off of the Garden update. I know I haven't posted in a while. Well, I mean, it's been pretty chaotic during the time I haven't posted. I've been sick, I've been mugged, and just a lot of stuff has happened. Anyway, so right right about 10 days ago, I think, Scream 6 was released. Now, I was excited for this since every Scream up until, uh, well, maybe still now, has been either good or super, like, awesome. And so I just wanted to watch it. Like, normally, I only really care about supernatural horror, but Scream 6 just has a place in my heart because of how self-aware it is. It has a place in a lot of people's hearts. It's a pop culture icon. So, yeah, I went to watch it with a friend. Um, it was an interesting movie. So, basically, the premise of Scream 4 is... Oh, wait, before that, I have to do the YouTuber thing where I just say spoiler warning, even though everybody knows that there's going to be a spoiler, because it's a Scream 6 review. It's a review, not a preview. Like, goddamn, why do they always do that? Anyway, before I started ranting, as I was saying, so the entire premise of Scream 6 is like the main characters from Scream 5 are now in New York, and if you watched any of the advertisement materials, the Ghostface's mask in this movie is super beat up and is super old, and they advertise it as the most vicious Ghostface who doesn't really seem to care about any movies. So, like, me and a bunch of other friends decided, hey, this is where Stu Macher finally exists. 'Cause, like, you know, Stu Macher, his death by TV is questionable. Because, like, unless you have a really bad head injury already, I don't think a TV falling on your head would murder you. But that's just my opinion. So, anyway, so for this one, we have another really small friend group. Great, less kills. So, as we're in New York, we start out with, a kill from a woman in a bar where, like, she's on Tinder or something. And then her date asks her to go into a dark alley. Then, she dies, obviously, because this is Scream. Anyway, so, like, this is the first time where we have the killer unmasked, sort of, in the first few minutes of the movie. So, the killer is the guy who plays Flash in Spider-Man. I forgot his name, but as Mindy says it, oh, it's that chode from our science and arts class or whatever. So, yeah, and then apparently, like, he goes on to talk about with his friend over the phone, who's actually Ghostface, because Ghostface on phone, yeah, like, how killing felt, and he said it felt like stabbing an animal, which I do not understand at all. But yeah, you do you, bud. Anyway, so later he finds out his friend has been, like, amputated in all possible ways and stuffed inside of the fridge by another Ghostface, and then a Ghostface pops out of nowhere and kills him. And then he says, oh, but we were gonna make a movie. And then the Ghostface says, oh, who said anything about a movie? Like, so yeah, this got me more excited for Stu Macher because this confirms that the Ghostface didn't care about a movie. And the only real Ghostface who wouldn't really care about a movie or fans or followers would essentially be like the Ghostfaces in the first two. Billy Loomis, Stu Macher, and Nancy Loomis, and the other guy I forgot about. While the other three have pretty believable deaths where you actually believe they're dead, and if they come back to life, that would just be stupid. Stu Macher has the most stupid death, and it would be not a surprise if he came back, so that got me pretty hyped up. Anyway, so later Tara goes to a frat party as Sam, her older sister, goes to see therapy, which she desperately needs. And then so during this, we also meet a few more main characters, like Mindy's girlfriend, who's an Asian girl whose name I can't remember, because she's like pretty forgettable. She's only there for one kill, and like nowhere else in the movie. And then we also get to meet Sam's horny roommate, whose dad is a police chief, I think. And yeah, so after that, after therapy, where the therapist calls Sam out because of what she's saying, because she's like, oh yeah, I only stabbed the guy 22 times, but that's not on topic. What's on topic is that it felt right to stab a guy 22 times. And then as the therapist wrote that down and said, I'm not equipped to handle this type of situation. And then Sam just starts carrying out, and she's like, what do you mean you're not equipped? I didn't say I was gonna do anything. You legitimately just implied that it felt good to murder your boyfriend or ex-boyfriend. And anyway, so next thing you know, we have Tara getting, like, trying to get alcohol, and then some big buff white guy tries to take her into his room and, like, rape her, I guess. I'm not sure. And then Sam shows up after Chad and the white guy fight. Chad is from the Scream 5, by the way, in case you guys want to know. And then Sam tases the white guy's balls, which could be lethal, because any electric-based weapon could kill or paralyze part of someone's body. And if you go into pain overload, you could, like, your brain could shut down, and getting tased in the balls would probably activate that. But she's like, no, I only tased him in the balls. I should not be hated on. And, like, yeah, they just leave, and then they just start arguing about how they can't. And Tara just starts yelling at Sam about how Sam can't leave her alone. And it's just really petty. And then later, like, they find out through the news that 3 people were murdered. The guy in the fridge, Mr. Flash from Spider-Man, and the lady in the alley. Anyway, Mask was left there, I think. But also Sam's ID, because that conveniently is just everywhere. Anyway, Sam vouches for herself like a normal person and says, no, it wasn't me, it couldn't be me. So, yeah. And then they just go on this wild goose chase where they have a few deaths. The one thing I dislike about this movie is that they make the death count really low because they don't do any, like, random deaths. But I just realized we're 8 minutes into the movie and I haven't even gotten to my criticism, so I'm gonna just give you a rapid recap. So basically what happens, they just go around New York trying to escape. They meet Kirby, who's from a previous Scream movie, Scream 4 I think, and apparently Kirby went to school when Sam was a freshman, and yeah. So they just find a Ghostface shrine where they have a lot of, like, how do I put this? So you know how, like, some people are just obsessed over YouTuber merch and would pay billions upon billions of dollars just to get it? It's basically like that, but inside of a big-ass movie theater. And, yeah. So anyway, the policeman's daughter, girls, dies, who's supposed to be the horny roommate. And then, at the end of the movie, we find out that, guess what? There's 3 ghost faces because of diversion of expectations. I'm so happy, and I definitely do not hate this franchise right now. Anyway, so apparently the slut daughter did not die because, as the police chief dad says, who's, oh, by the way, also a ghost face, he says, oh, you'd be surprised what a mourning father and a few prosthetics could get away with. It's a dead fucking body. They're not gonna just like, oh, well that's weird. It's made out of rubber. Let's still bury it. And the other killer is like Chad's roommate, whose name is Ethan, and he's just a really whiny white boy. Like, just think of Tubbo, but really American and white. Yep, that's him. Anyway, like, they're saying they want to avenge Robbie because, yeah, fuck, I don't even know why, because he was killed. But one thing that they said really made sense to me. They said, "Yo, you didn't deserve to be punished." Well, this is to Sam because they're trying to hunt her down because she killed Robbie. Because until we saw what you did, and to be fair, that is a good point because she did stab him 22 times, and then she slit his throat. And you know what she does in this situation? She starts taunting them, saying he was pathetic. Anyway, they go on a big chase scene around the Ghostface shrine, and then, guess what? The good guys win. And just to add more tension, Sam decides to put on a Ghostface costume and start stabbing people. Well, only the villains, but still, that's pretty stupid. And out of nowhere in the end, like, Kirby shows up. And then for like a final surprise kill, like Amber at the end of Ghostface 5. Well, Scream 5, my bad. Like when she's still running and burning. Ethan, after being stabbed in the mouth by Tara. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this family? Do they seriously just, like, love causing people immense amounts of pain? I know they're the killers, but still. Like, he dies to the TV that Stu Macher had fall on his head. Because remember, this is a Ghostface fan shrine. Which was a decent reference. But there's still no Stu Macher. So, yep, that was Scream 6. It was not very good. Anyway, time for my criticisms. My first criticism is that for 3 Ghostfaces, the friend group was too small and there weren't enough random kills. Like, the Ghostfaces got in about 3 kills. 3. Which I genuinely don't understand. Second one, they didn't even try to flesh out much of the side characters. Like, Sam had a boyfriend dude whose name I can't remember. And I don't even give a crap about him. He was in like 5 scenes. And all I remember was that he was buff. And like the movie is desperately trying to grasp onto the modern day, making like super, really, really gory kills. Because like the Asian girlfriend, she was cut up the stomach, was still alive, tried to climb across a ladder, then fell down and hit her head on a garbage can. And then she died. And it's like really stupid. And then they just brought Kirby back for no reason. Like, the movie could have gone well without her. She was a good character. But like, put it to rest. And they didn't utilize Gale at all. They literally just used her to get stabbed a few times and make the main characters want to trap the Ghostface, which I must say is a first. But still, it's stupid. They should be trying to actively run from the killer. And I'm still mad that they didn't make the Ghostface Stu Macher. Like, they could have at least put him in relation. Like, Ethan and the slutty roommate could just be, like, related to Stu Macher, and they wanted to avenge their dad, or, you know, follow up his legacy by killing Sam, who wasn't a real Ghostface. Because, you know, Sam's related to Billy Loomis, who was Stu Macher's partner. But, like, no. They just decided, let's make this about family, because Robbie is more important than Stu. Because everyone loves Robbie Kirsch. Like, they try to make, and the worst part, like, even worse at this point, is they try to make up for it by using older Ghostface masks and calling it a countdown. And no one cares. We just want to see self-aware people in a horror movie get stabbed with an actual good reason behind the murder. Like, it just has to be an actual creative answer. Even TikTok star would have been better than this. But like, yeah, I didn't like Ghostface 6. Like, I enjoyed the New York aspect, but everything could have gone better. Also, in this movie they sort of implied they're never gonna kill off any of the characters from Scream 5, because apparently they're the core 4 now, as Chad says. They're immune to murder, because Chad gets stabbed like 20 times by Ethan and Slutty Roommate each. And he lives because man's a Chad. And, like, he just doesn't give a crap. He just walks it off. And they just made it horribly. They made the pacing horrible, they made the side adventures horrible, and they made the fact that it just ends up being like me when it comes to like recording a YouTube video. They try to do something, then they bounce back to not doing shit, then they try to do something, then they bounce back to not doing shit again. So yeah, it's kinda lame. Ooh, that's a good amount of coins. Anyway, so yeah, that was Scream 6. I'm gonna do a review on Rango now because I just watched that movie and it's actually good. Have a nice one.